How's it going, Peng Pirates crew? It's Adrian, and we're back with another video. I know it's been a while since you've seen me, but honestly, it's been a very hectic semester for me. I'm in grad school, so like classes are very difficult sometimes. But hopefully with the break coming up, and then also I have like a little bit of a different school schedule going into the next semester, so I could hopefully keep uploading. But yeah, I just wanted to use this video as also like kind of an announcement that I am going to at least try to upload a lot more. There were a lot of videos that I was making back in OP3 and OP4 where like it really felt like they were kind of like half-assed. But yeah, I'm going to be trying to upload more and more with the break coming up, and then also just my school schedule being a little bit different. So expect to see some more, hopefully. But today I'm going to be coming over a finals match. This is for a server tournament that happened here in the Bay. It was hosted by two really good friends of mine and some of the longest standing One Piece players that we've had. We have Kyle and Alex. Kyle was the one hosting the tournament, and I think Alex supplied the box. So I just wanted to say thank you to you two. You guys do so much for our SF community. You guys are honestly really great. Hopefully the next one will be like some kind of RP Law and P Luffy guide, since those are the two decks that I've been like bouncing between in OP5. But again, without further ado, let's get right into the video. This ends up being like one of, I think, the most interesting games because the Law and Queen matchup is pretty interesting. Like, it is supposed to be Law favored just because they swing 5Ks like all the time. And with Queen, like, you're not going to have a lot of things to counter with in hand. And I think Brian ends up going second here just so that he can like play that 8-drop category as fast as possible. Doesn't have it in hand right now, but you know, you never know with your draws in life. So, oh, and just for reference, Alan is going to be playing Law on the top here. We're looking at Brian's POV. Again, two of the best players that we have in the Bay. They have multiple tops. Alan has like multiple serial cards, multiple top 8s. He's going to swing 7 here. And then also Brian has like, again, multiple tops. He just topped an LA, which is really cool with NL. So it's really interesting to see this matchup. So he's going to end up playing the Amand here, which is really interesting. Swing 6K into the Brook. With Queen, you really just want to like starve out your opponent, especially aggressive opponents like Law, where it does matter a lot how many, you know, cards they have on the board. So he's going to swing 6K, use Sanji's ability to draw a card, and then Vista the Amande. That's such a powerful play here because he's going to guarantee that Shambles next turn, while also just removing a huge threat on board like Amand. If he doesn't do that, you know, Brian could just keep using this Amand. You don't really have time to play these blockers on a turn that isn't this specific turn, right? Because then on 8 you should be playing the Katakuri. I think he's just lining up the triggers so that when he does eventually play that Katakuri outs, he's going to be able to trigger the Bages, or have the option to at least. So Alan is going to play out the Bonnie here, grab a he's going to grab a Restand Law right there, which is pretty interesting. So I wonder what other plays he has. So he's going to take with the Sanji, swing 5K with lead. Okay, you know, getting those cards out of Queen's hand. It's kind of like a zero-sum game, right? Because as the Law player, you do like them having like less cards in hand to keep track of. But also as the Queen player, like if you have less cards in hand, you're closer to your leader skill, right? So it's kind of this back and forth where one of them matters like sometimes, and then other times it's like going to be very difficult for the Queen player at least, because you might just draw into like a bunch of bricks. So he's thinking to swing 7 with a Sanji here. I think it's a pretty fine play. Like swinging 7K right now means that it's probably going to either make him take a life or use a blocker. Brian's just going to go ahead and take, and he grabs the 8 cost, which is huge for him because he did not have that in hand the turn before. So now he could just play this on curve. Takes back up the Sanji, plays out the Law, restands the Bonnie. Bonnie and Sanji are just like two of the most important cards in this matchup because they allow you not to get starved out. Bonnie is just going to be able to like search a bunch of things. Queen doesn't really run a lot of Queen typically just doesn't run a lot of removal in general, and the removal that they usually run is for like bigger things like Katakuri and Red Rock and such. They don't run things like ulti that can efficiently get rid of Bonnie. So I think he's thinking about whether to put the Law or the Bonnie on top of life here. He's gonna opt for the Bonnie, which I actually agree with, because the Law, it is a swing every single turn, but the Bonnie, like, if that's the only one they have, like, it's just gonna net them so much card value in the future that you really just want that to be, you know, out of the way. But unfortunately, Alan does have another Bonnie here. He's gonna end up searching out the structure deck Luffy. So he's going to be able to keep recycling that Bonnie. And this is potentially dangerous for Brian here because he does have potentially 4 attacks on the board. Maybe even 5 if he plays out the Luffy, right? So he swings 5, gets rid of that Boa, swings 5 again. I don't think he's going to end up countering this for the Dofi, right? Because that blocker is just great. Oh no, he does to get down to low cards. I guess that makes so much sense though, because he does have 2 bricks in hand, so it might end up, and he is going to want to play out the Mihawk or the Yamato, right? So he's not going to really have time to play the Doflamingo blocker in this case. You really just want to start chaining those big hitters because you want to like accumulate like all of them on board, right? So then he swings 7k here. He's going to end up blocking. He still has the Dofi blocker as well. He can shambles up the Bonnie and play the Luffy here to swing 6. I think this is that's a really, really good play. That actually puts a lot of pressure on the Queen player here. Yeah, I feel like you either block or take, right? But I think you really want to play the Mihawk next turn because the Yamato's not going to really get you anywhere since you want to get rid of that Luffy attacker. And it's going to be pretty difficult to, considering that he has like 7 cards in hand and a blocker. So yeah, I do agree with the block there. I think he wants to play the Mihawk here instead of the Yamato. Just because, you know, that Yamato is taking out a chopper at best. So he's going to end up bottoming the Luffy, swinging 6k at the Vista. That's going to be good because at least with the Vista gone, it lets him like not worry about it too much because of the shambles plays. And then he's going to swing 8k into the Dodon, which I definitely agree with. I think as the Law player, you should think about blocking this, just because you do want an extra attacker on board. But it always depends on just like what is your play in hand. I think either way, it's really good to just get that out because one swing, even though it's with Dodon, is actually really important, right? Because if he swings 8k into the Law and he counters out 2k, 1k, or gives you the blocker, like he still has 2 attackers on the board, which is not ideal for you, especially with no blockers, right? Because we know that this 2 life here stacked, I think is like, it's like a Kaya and a Beige at this point, or a Beige and a Beige. So he swings 5, he's just gonna instant counter out with the Usopp. That's not gonna be really useful in this matchup, so I agree with that. He swings 5 here again with the Rush Zoro. And this is where it's looking really dangerous for him, so this is tough, because I mean you want to restack your life there, right? And then he's gonna end up just playing out the Zoro again here, swinging 6, and then it looks like it's gonna be a 7 with the restand Law. Oh yeah, so this last one's the 2 Kayas, so he's gonna draw into the Beige. The thing at the top of his life is another Beige. So he's forced to play the Yamato here. I don't think there's any other play you could really do. So he plays out Yamato. That's the Beige off the top of life. Swings 8k into the Law. I think that's smart. You force him to go 2k, 1k here. And then actually, yeah, this is super, super smart because then he goes 8k and then 6k. So he has to give up 3 cards to protect this Law and the Chopper, which is pretty committal, honestly. It might not end up feeling too bad depending on what card he gets rid of here. So he swings, he's gonna block with the Chopper, but that 6k was countered out with a Bonnie, so I mean, he probably has another one in hand if I had to guess. Like, he's gonna end up taking with the Sanji here, play out the Nami, grab another Rush Luffy, which is really, really solid. Yeah, I wonder if you want to set up that Rush Luffy though, because I think setting up the Rush Luffy there would be really good because it plays around like a ton of stuff, right? The only trigger you really need to worry about is like Red Rock and Beige. But double swinging with unblockable with Luffy is a crazy play, right? So he's gonna swing 7k. This gets kind of tough for him. So he's gonna end up taking here. Swing 7k again. Yeah, so another 7k is gonna come down, so I think you have to counter out one of these, right? Let's see. Yeah, because I don't know how much the pound matters. If it looks like this probably is going to be one of the last turns, because I think it swings back to Brian here. Okay, so he's gonna go 2k, 1k. Yeah, I think it swings back to Brian here. I don't think he's gonna go for game. It looks with one blocker up. I mean, let's see what Alan plays here. Like, he might play even more blockers to prevent Brian from going for going for game here, because there's gonna be another 7k coming down the way. This is a really critical turn, because this is actually a really scary board from Brian. Like, you have the 3 huge attackers plus leader swing. He could potentially just go for game, but I mean, that would mean that he would have like no counter in hand, I think, because then he needs to swing 3 times to end the game. There is a blocker up that's gonna block one of them, so then that means because he has 4 swings, so then if he needs to swing 3 times, one of them gets blocked. That means all the rest of the swings have to go through. So I don't know if that's the safest thing to do right now. But yeah, we see Alan thinking about this play. Like, how do you set up lethal for next turn, right? So he's going to swing 7k with the Law blocker. I think that implies that he's probably just going to play out another blocker. Yeah, yeah, he can't swing with the Sanji, because he just played it this turn. So he ends up picking up Law, playing down the Nami again, and then grabbing a Rad Beam, leaving 1 up. So yeah, you're definitely not going for game here, right? So you just wanna play to survive the next turn, so you could like just kill him on the crackback. This is a really great Perona, so well timed, because now he has like the option to play Sanji or Boa Hancock. I think you know that he has... this is super interesting, right? Because he knows that he searched the structure deck Luffy, so these blockers are actually like not too useful, I think, right? Yeah, I actually think, yeah, since the Luffy is out, I mean, there's no way that Brian could like remove this Law. So then I think you just swing leader and then Law into Luffy, I think. right? Because Brian here is going to try to clear these two, the blocker law and the restand law. But yeah, thinking about this stack, he puts the boa on the top. I wonder if you ever like Kaya into the pound. No, you never do that because, of course, like he has the Luffy in hand, right? So you're just getting rid of like a 2k counter for no reason. So he swings 8 into 6. I imagine you just let that go through, right? Because like if you counter out here, there's just bigger units coming out. Hard turn to navigate. So yeah, I think he stacked the boa on top though. So you probably just swing for, you know, big numbers. You don't really have anything else to play here. Swing 8k, that's a boa on the top of his life. So he can't just go for like a raw blocker law swing. Okay, blocker law swing goes through, and then I think you just swing both of these face, right? Because if you survive next turn, like you're just going for game at that point, right? Because the law player is just going to swing at your face trying to kill you. You're gonna have your full board for next turn. And you know, like this blocker probably it's not remaining active next turn, right? Like he's definitely swinging with it. So he swings 9k here. I think you just take, you play for one more turn. Swings 9k. Yeah, there's gonna be 6. That's the trouble of this deck sometimes, right? Like, there's just gonna be 6 extra Dawn hanging out that was not used. But I mean, like, there was no way to use it, right? So I think here, this is like one of those lethal puzzles, right? I think here is pretty interesting. I wonder what you do. With no blocker out, I think you just swing. So assuming Shambles takes up 4 Dawn, right? Because it's like 1 drop, 1 drop, 1 drop, 1 drop, and then Shambles. I think you might just swing potentially 599 with unblockable Luffy. Unless you have like the Nami Pole or Brook, then that puts up your Dawn by like a lot. So he's gonna end up swinging 5, it looks like, to test, which I don't mind. I think that's pretty good. So he swings 5. I think now you swing 9 with this law though, because this is guaranteed to go through. Okay, so the Brook comes down. Wait, this Brook makes it even better though, because then it makes you not waste your Dawn, right? So then Shambles is gonna cost 1 Dawn for like, I don't know, like a Bonnie or a Nami or something. And then you could do this for 2 Dawn, Shambles, Luffy, and then swing 11k, right? So you go, or 10k. You could put 1 more onto this law, swing 9k, 10k, unblockable, and that, I think, pretty much plays around it, right? But I think I would always swing. Okay, so we're swinging 12. I think. Oh, but he doesn't even have enough for Vista in hand. That might be a mistake. Uses the trigger, plays Boa. Wait, I think yeah, because you just lose here, right? Yeah, I don't know you do from here now. Because then even if you restand this law, it's just gonna get blocked, right? Ooh. So I think maybe just banking on the fact that that wasn't like Boa or like a Beige. But I'm pretty sure he did search a unblockable Luffy out of hand, which plays around both, right? Because then he can't Beige something that's not on the board, and he can't block. So I feel like, was that a mistake? Yeah, because I don't see a line that gets you out of this now. Grabs the Rush Zoro. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, like, even a Shambles, like, there's no way. Because he's out of attackers, right? That bow off the top is killer. Yeah, there's no way. I think there might have been like a Vista play to do here, because that was 4 Dawn, 5 Dawn. Could have played you Vista into Shambles after this. So like you swing 11, the Boa comes out, you Vista, you Shambles, restand it. Yeah, and there's just no way, right? So Brian's gonna end up taking that. I mean, I knew that Brian was taking it because of the server announcement, but like, okay, so Alan says he added 1 too much Dawn. I think there might have been like a Vista play there. Yeah, there might have just been a Vista play there. I don't know. I feel like with this match, like, swinging with this big swing feels nice, and like it feels Dawn efficient, but then like in reality you don't really need to do that, right? Because then the Brook brought him up to 8k, you just put 1 more Dawn to bring him up to 9k. He can't counter out of that because he only has like these 2 cards in hand. So even if it's something like a Jet Gatling, or maybe he plays something weird, because he did leave 6 Dawn up, so maybe he was thinking that he had like some sort of counter event. But I don't know. Yeah, like I think the Dawn bluffed it a little bit, because yeah, like maybe he thought that he would play, he would be playing like a 2-cost like event. As always, thank you guys for watching. Sorry I haven't been uploading. Hopefully that'll change in the future. And once again, I just wanted to thank everyone in the Bay. So like Kyle and Alex, thank you for hosting that tournament. Brian and Alan, thank you guys for putting on such a great final game. Hopefully I'll see you guys around, and just good luck in anything you're doing, whether that be work, school, or like a job or something like that. And I'll see you on the next one.